Baltimore Eating with Richard Gorelick, which is brought to you by Eddie's of Roland Park, Baltimore's neighborhood gourmet grocer. Experience grocery shopping the way it's meant to be with friendly, knowledgeable staff and attentive service on Roland Avenue and North Charles Street in Baltimore. We are joined today by our special guest food blogger, Huppit Bartov Miller. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Huppit.
Huppit provided the Passover recipes in our April issue, which should be out tomorrow. And you can also find those online at jmoreliving.com/recipes database.
The issue's out tomorrow, the J. Moore issue?
Yes.
Wow.
But most people may not get it till Monday because a lot of things are closed because it's a holiday.
But they can go online to look for recipes.
Yes. The recipes are up. We've been promoting those all week.
Welcome, Huppit.
Thank you, guys. It's a pleasure.
I'm so glad. And Passover starts tomorrow night. I'm going to my brother's in-laws.
Oh, how's that?
Lovely.
Is it a long one?
No, it's not. It's a long evening, but not a long Seder.
My family used to do the marathon Seders. So my dad and I, who are the bad kids in the family, would sneak out for slices of pizza before it started.
Oh my
Shh, don't tell my family. I hope my family's not watching because they'll kill us.
Huppit, do you have a favorite thing to make for Passover?
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of our holiday. When I moved here, I heard a lot of people complaining about this holiday not being a good food holiday.
Moved from where?
Moved from Israel.
Where in Israel? I'm just curious.
All right. So actually, it's quite interesting because my hometown is Ashkelon, and when I moved here, I didn't know how famous Ashkelon was, but everybody knows Ashkelon here since it's the Baltimore sister city.
It is a sister city, yes.
And my husband and I felt totally bashirt since I'm from Ashkelon and he's from Baltimore, so it really was meant to be.
I'm glad I asked.
Good story.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite thing to make?
So this holiday is filled with so many traditional dishes that we make in my family that we wait a whole year for those dishes to come. And now I can hear my kids telling me, "What? We're gonna have to wait a whole year to just have this dish?" And so we do. And even though we love those dishes so much, I make a point to just make them for the holiday. And we have 7 days and a little bit more to enjoy them.
And it makes it special.
Right, so I think everybody's familiar with the matzo ball soup.
Oh, yes.
So even
Classic.
us, Sephardic families, my grandma used to have her own version of matzo balls, which called kuftaot in Hebrew.
Interesting.
And but they're not so grayish because they have a lot of green in them. And
herbs?
So herbs like parsley and cilantro. And it makes it very flavorful.
Nice.
And it has, some other spices. And so I have one daughter that's waiting especially for this dish to come. and we're going to have that.
Is the base of it matzah meal still or not?
Yes,
it
absolutely.
Is. Okay, but it's very different.
Yeah, and there's and the cool tricks to make it fluff.
Do you use seltzer water?
No,
Some people do.
Yes,
that's
and
a trick.
It's a good trick. Yes, I think the main trick for us is that we beat the whites of the eggs before, and then we kind of fold them in, and you can see the clouds into the matzo ball itself.
Fluffy matzo
I'm
clouds.
really interested.
Everyone, if you're watching, tell us how you matzo ball. We want to know.
Yeah, we have our family traditions, which is based more on Ashkenazi influence. But do you have any advice for people who want to spice up their traditional meal a little bit?
Yeah, so I just started with the soup, but really mainly it's a lot of other dishes that are very spiced up and different, I noticed, than what we see here. So usually in Tunisian cuisine, there's a whole spread of little mini salads or mezes that start the meal, and we have those traditional salads repeating for Passover, and we have like spiced up carrot salad. We have something called ma'akud or ma'akuda, which is it's a beautiful centerpiece for your table, but it's a quiche. It's a huge tall quiche that you cook on a pot and then you put in your oven and you flip it, and that's the moment of truth, is actually when you cut into it and you see all the beautiful different
and we have
colors.
that recipe up online.
Oh.
Yes, look for that.
What's the difficulty level of it?
It's not that difficult, actually, and it's vegetarian mainly. I love cooking vegetarian dishes, so a lot of those dishes are vegetarian, lots of vegetables and root vegetables and herbs and spices. For big highlight of the holiday is something called Matzo Egg Rolls.
Whoa, that sounds interesting.
Not a lot of people know that your matzah can actually roll.
Really?
There's a
I
way
didn't
to make
know.
it roll. And you can make any type of filling into.
We're so hungry right now. I want to go to a Seder.
I
wanna go
thought
to your Seder.
this specific.
Yeah. We can come over, right? You're gonna have us for your
sure,
Seder.
anybody's invited. Anybody who loves.
Kyle, we're going to Seder at Huppit's.
That's a Passover thing to bring in.
I should have
Yes,
brought
yeah.
some samplers for everybody.
Well,
to,
yeah. It is
Well, you'll have to
lunchtime.
invite me again.
Oh, we will. Don't worry. Especially with that promise. So, what do you do about gefilte fish? Do you have a gefilte fish situation?
Not,
Because
well,
I hate the stuff. I'll just tell you right now. But
We-
everyone
I-
says, well, if you make it by hand, it's not the jelly, and you're fine. And
we didn't grow up with any gefilte
Yeah.
fish versions, so I don't. I haven't seen a gefilte fish for a while.
Good.
And my
But you're
husband
better
is
for it.
who used to love gefilte fish and maybe still have somewhat of a love for it. Kind of said goodbye to it when he met me, I think. But
I do.
You're
like
a
it.
gefilte fish
Our
guy?
family had warm gefilte fish.
No, that
don't
is
you-
not the good part of Passover.
We have some questions that we prepared. Why don't you take the next one, Amanda?
Yes, because
that's-
it's all about me. All right. You gave us a Passover version of Shakshuka!
yes.
Which everyone here who has watched us has probably heard me rant and rave at some point about my Shakshuka obsession.
Mostly
I wrote about
raving.
it. I wrote about it for J Moore. I have a thing. I think it's the perfect food. You guys, if you're watching, tell us how you like your shakshuka, but tell us what was different about yours.
So shakshuka, a Tunisian dish, it's everybody knows the mainstream shakshuka, which is based on tomato sauce, correct? And then you spicy with harissa and something like that, and then you poach your eggs into this yummy sauce, and you eat it with a lot of bread.
And you
The
soak
best
up all that
bread.
yummy sauce.
And now I'm talking to you. Yes, and now I'm talking to you about shakshuka with the holiday of no bread.
Oh,
Right.
that's a good
So
point.
no,
Here we go.
but there's a but.
Okay.
And so shakshuka in Tunisian cuisine, besides being in that mainstream tomato sauce, it also appear in many different versions.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it doesn't have to. It's different bragous and
You
different.
can do anything with shakshuka.
Yes. So this Passover shakshuka is called shakshuka paschia, and it's actually. Made specially for the holiday. This has been generations, so I didn't make up the dish. It's existing. Combine two things into that tomato peppers ragu, and one of them is potatoes to kind of compensate exactly for the bread.
Delivery vehicle for that sauce.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have those potatoes that are very comforting
very good.
inside the sauce. But to me, the highlight is fresh green fava beans. And
Oh,
That's different.
yeah.
which are very symbolic in Tunisian cuisine, and they're loved because they appear in many dishes. But here they're here to symbolize the springtime.
Yes,
It's the time of harvest, and they look so green, and so we
I
add
love that.
Yeah, that's nice. And what's the cheese that you use?
I like to add goat cheese, and that's a
That's
little
what
bit
you
out of
said,
the.
yeah.
You can use whatever you
Whatever.
like.
You tell us how you like your cheese and your shakshuka. So Jonathan Lesky says he loves your recipes. He works here, so that's good.
Thank you.
And then Bonnie Grauer says that Unger sells a yummy gefilte fish that comes frozen and you poach in your own. I don't know what she meant to say there. Something you poach it in your own something, and it's Unger. I don't know, but thank you, Bonnie.
Yes, thanks.
Thank you.
I had a quick question. The traditional Seder plate. Anything different on yours with haroseth or maror?
Charoset is such a beautiful thing because, and I've been investigating charoset for many years, and we did different workshops about charoset from all over the world. It's such a beautiful dish to learn about different cultures and, ingredients and why they use different ingredients. I learned, for example, there's some kind of Iranian charoset made out of 40 ingredients to represent the 40 years in the desert wandering.
That's beautiful.
Isn't that crazy? Tunisian charoset is actually charoset that's formed into balls, and the base of it is dates. So you process the dates, and you get that really good pasty with lots of different nuts, about 7 different type of nuts inside it. I add a little spice called tabil, which is a Tunisian mix of spices and it has different things in it, but it also have rose petals, dry rose petals in it. It's really, really cool.
Huppit, wow.
That's so great. We are absolutely coming over. So, if you just got here, you're watching This Week in Baltimore Eating with Richard Karelic, which is brought to you by Eddie's at Roland Park. Eddie's friendly staff and ready to help your host this holiday. Need a last-minute dish? No problem. Browse their holiday menu at eddiesatRolandPark.com for delicious entrees, sides, and holiday desserts. They'll never know it isn't homemade. We've got our special guest food blogger Huppit Bartov Miller with us. If you have any special Passover menu or shakshuka questions, feel free to ask her in the comments field below. Stay with us. Do you want to talk about...
It is opening day.
Yes.
That's another holiday. It's opening day.
It's everything this weekend. It's everything right now.
And we were talking the other day about new food at Camden Yards, and there wasn't any, but they just announced it yesterday. Just made
right,
a big
I know. They waited till the last
announcement.
second to tell us what's new at the yard.
And there's lots and lots of new food.
All right, tell us what's new. Do you like baseball?
I take my husband with me. He's a big fan of it. He's a true Baltimorean fan of baseball, and he taught me everything I know. And I enjoy going to games. It still makes me feel like a tourist.
Yeah,
it's beautiful. Yes.
We'll go through this quickly.
Yes.
The return to Camden Yards of Atman's.
Nice.
Atman's Deli and
Okay.
Stuggy's hot dogs.
Uh-huh.
Also new this year, Pollock Johnny's, Pizza John's, which I got confused with Papa John's,
Yeah,
but
it's not the same.
It's a Lutherville-based chain or store. Pinch Dumplings. Pinch Dumplings
That's
are at
interesting.
Mount Vernon Marketplace. There's a Lobster Hut,
Also good.
New England, that serves New England
not
rolls,
really us,
and
though.
Boardwalk
It's not like us.
Fries. Boardwalk Fries is coming. Today's opening day. That sounds like a good lineup. No pun intended. I want to talk more
Go
to
O's.
Pete.
Yes, let's talk more to Huppit.
I'm
That's
just
why she's here.
We're running a little long.
It's okay. We can do
but,
a couple more minutes.
And how about bitter herbs?
So, I mean, we take it easy on anything that's bitter. Sephardic people are notorious for that. They just take the ease off anything that needs to be more bittery. So we use lettuce for bitter herbs, and
Okay.
we love it. And
That's
so,
bitter enough, like
In
a bitter
salt
green.
water? Or?
we dip it in salt water, and then when it's time to have it with the charoset, we do that as well. You mentioned the charoset, and I want to tell you about, even though I was talking about the Tunisian charoset, there's Iraqi charoset that I've known since I was a child, and I'll tell you a little story about it.
Please.
Yes. So when I was a kid, just like here, and I guess in Jewish schools, they do model seders for the kids.
Yes.
We did that in Israel as well. We did model seders in our classrooms, and they assigned each kid to bring something for the seder. So they would say, Amanda, please bring the boiled eggs, and you, the shakshuka, of course, right on that plate. And you bring some matzah, and you bring the potatoes. And for my friend, who I walk to and from school every morning with, they say, you bring the charoset. And those teachers knew what they were talking about. Her family's from Iraq, and her mom made the best charoset ever. The charoset is 3 ingredients, and it has peanuts, it has walnuts, and it has silan, which is date syrup. And all of this mixed together to this amazing paste of
We could
sweetness.
all make that. This is a challenge to you guys. Make that this
Date
year.
syrup might be
it's-
hard to find, but I think we can find date
Date
syrup.
No,
syrup?
so you can find it nowadays.
Where?
Well, I find 7 Mile, and find it
Okay.
in different stores, and online so easy, like Amazon. You know, you can order it. Prime comes to you next day. It's very. I think the one tip about date syrup is to notice the ingredients there. It should only say dates. So if they add anything else, you might not want to get it.
But I love I think want to follow up on the haroset thing. You talked so much. I mean, I love the idea that different cultures have different versions of haroset. And,
Ellen Murray Seed says that Pizza John's is a Middle River-based restaurant.
thank you, Ellen, and hello, Ellen.
Hello, Ellen. All right, so are we about ready to wrap up? I mean, I could talk to you for hours.
So could I.
And I had a whole cilantro story I was going to tell you, but I think Kyle is producing, and he needs to get to the park.
The follow-up for listeners is to visit the website. What are they looking for on the website?
So we have Passover recipes. It's up right now. And
what's the website web
it's
address?
jmoreliving.com. A chunk of those are by Huppit. We also have the Hummus Free, which that was what you focused on for the April issue. So we have a bunch of Hummus Free recipes. What's your food blog?
So afuda.com has a lot more recipes for the holiday. I mean, if you just search Passover, you will get all the recipes up there.
One more time for that? I didn't.
Afuda.com. So AFOODA.com.
What does that mean?
So we have the food in the middle and A on each side, and I kind of like the word afuda, and in Hebrew,
like it too.
afuda means vest too. So it kind of rang cute to me, and I went with
like
it.
it. I
went
like it.
with it. Yes.
I couldn't.
And you
piece
can
together.
always look for Huppit's recipes in JMore in the print issue, and there's several, like I said, online in our database, which is at jmoreliving.com/recipes database.
We've got to have Huppit back.
We want you back.
Next time I'm bringing
Especially with
food.
the nibbles.
Yes.
That's what
yes.
Kyle said that too. So tune in every Thursday at 12:30 for This Week in Baltimore Eating, which has been brought to you by Eddie's of Roland Park, your source for quality prepared foods, deli sandwiches, fresh seafood, and unique gifts. Learn more about holiday specials at eddiesofrolandpark.com. Thank you to Huppit Bartov Miller.
Oh, my
Yay!
pleasure. Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
so much. You can find her recipes, like we said, online at jmoreliving.com/recipes database or at afuda.com. Happy Passover. Have a great Seder. And go O's.
Happy
Chag
Passover,
Chag
everybody.
Sameach.
Yes.
Yes.
What she said.